arigato gozaimasu. And so, arigato is the thank you and all, but like, you have to say gozaimasu for some reason. Like, it's kind of weird. It's like, it's just to make something more polite. Like, I guess maybe it's kind of like the word very much in English. Like, no, but thank you very much. Like, you don't really have to. If you say no, but thank you, that means one thing. But if you say no, but thank you very much, like, it means like, it's like a lot more. I don't know. It's like it has more gravity, or like a more affecting. But it's like, pretty much anytime you say thank you, gozaimasu. If you're not like, well, yeah, I'd say pretty much like every time. I mean, if you're really good friends in private, I think that probably wouldn't matter, but like, pretty much if you're in public in Japan, it seems like if anyone other than you and that other person can hear or see what you're doing, you have to be like super polite, like as much as polite as polite as much as possible. But it seems that way. I mean, from what I've seen, but I don't know. There's just, it's like my knowledge of Japanese is like so random too. It's like I don't know, like telebi and radio is really weird. Like, I can like almost remember it. I know, like bicycle, like shitensha, and like hajite is run. Otoko no hajite desu. Like little boys running. Like stuff that you actually like wouldn't even really be able to use. Like like at no point when you're in Japan will you really need to tell anybody that a little boy is running. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, oh yeah, and then if you want to say like very, it's like domo arigatou gozaimasu. But I don't know. Like, I was studying it over the summer for a while, like in my break, like my period, when I was like having to pay bills and stuff, like school and stuff, and I wasn't going to classes. I was like studying Japanese, but I signed up for a Japanese class in college for this next semester. So like I've kind of been putting my studies in Japanese kind of like off to the side for a minute because like I studied like so much for so long, and like got kind of burned out, I guess. Maybe like it's like if you can't use the stuff you learn, it's like you end up like you get to the point where like okay, I'm learning this, but like, you know, it's not really benefiting me. Like, but there's a lot of Asian people at NC State. So I'm thinking maybe, I mean, but quite a few of them are Chinese, so I don't know. There's a fair amount of Japanese people, but I don't know. The problem with, like, I don't know. I feel like if I try and make friends with like Japanese people at NC State, like right now, like the cool thing is like with Japan Guide, like, you know, there's people who are like maybe like not all that great in English, you know, so I don't feel like I'm being, like, if they're already in America and they can speak enough English to like do pretty well here, then they definitely know English way better than I know Japanese. So I feel like I'm like being like rude, kind of like hindering, like annoying them, because like with the Japan Guide, it's like people who are likely, you know, still learning really basic stuff as well. So it's like I don't feel, you know, like we're both, whenever I speak with someone, it's like, you know, I'm not saying like anybody's terrible, but like I'm pretty bad at Japanese still, like really bad. I'm okay with pronunciation, but like actual like words that to know, I don't know that many. And so I don't feel like I'm, you know, I feel like I would kind of annoy someone with my, you know, not being able to communicate very well, like trying to speak Japanese but not being really good at it, and like, you know, somebody who knows English really well, like I feel like it'd be maybe like rude to try and make friends, like, because they wouldn't want to really, like, I don't know. It's like they would get annoyed with maybe like me trying to communicate with them in Japanese, because they know English so much better than I probably know Japanese. Like, it'd be easier for them. Like, they would find it annoying. Like, they wish that they could just speak English with me because they, you know, I don't know. But I mean, I guess it's worth a try. Like, to just kind of. The only thing is, like, I'm still having. I mean, I'm not like really bad at it, but like I can tell. I can definitely tell the difference between Koreans and Chinese and Japanese for the most part. But there are some Chinese people that look extremely Japanese, that, you know, it's like come to America. I feel like I'd look stupid. Like I just, it'd be embarrassing, you know, like to incorrectly, like, you know, identify the ethnicity of someone. Like, you know, like I go up to freaking, I mean, I'm not saying like, I mean, I know Chinese person. I'm sure it's very likely that almost every Chinese person knows what konnichiwa means, but like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like it'd be embarrassing, or like, you know, maybe racist seeming, like, if I'm not able to like properly identify the ethnicity of like that someone is Chinese or Japanese, like I go up to, you know, a Chinese person and I'm like, you know, Nihongo ga wakarimasu ka? It's like, you know, and they'll like look at me stupid and like they're like, hey, I'm Chinese, like, oh, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Cause like if somebody, I guess it wouldn't really like offend me if like someone came up to me, like if I was in Japan, like somebody came up to me and was like, hey, are you British? Or, you know, I don't know. I mean, but I've seen so many videos of like, see, the thing is like, I watch these videos on like YouTube and it's about like people in Japan, like I'm not really good at speaking Japanese at all yet, and so or I don't understand, my vocabulary is not very large, and so I watch these videos that they like subtitled, you know, in English. Basically it's like for English speakers that, you know, basically it's like foreign exchange students that go to Japan to like universities or whatever and like ask Japanese people questions, you know, to kind of, because like English people or American people have like, you know, are very curious, like a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of fascination with Japan and America, you know, and I know like equally so like in Japan, you know, for America as well, like, but the thing is like, I guess maybe like Americans are not quite as smart as Asians, and so like, or at least like more lazy, and so like less Americans will probably learn Japanese to like satisfy their interest in the culture, but so they have these like videos. I don't know, maybe they have these in Japan as well, like, or they have these Japanese versions of this type of video, like, I don't know, but it'll be, you know, like questions that they'll have and like for people, and I was watching this video, it was like something, I can't remember, it was like what made the person like socially uncomfortable or something, and it was like how in Japan a lot of times, like, you know, a lot of people speak English. I mean, you know, in a lot of countries, I'm not saying a lot of people speak English fluently or, you know, are really great at speaking English or study very hard at speaking English. I'm just saying, like, English words are, you know, there's certain words that are well known, or, you know, I mean, for instance, like, I mean, there's a lot of, like, shatsu, and, tishatsu, and, scato, and then, one piece, and then, you know, it's like all, like, Americanized words, really. I mean, it's like, or not Americanized, but, like, you know, like, they were words that were adopted from the English language, roughly, you know, like, computer. It's like, it's basically like, you just say computer, but it's like, you know, with more of like an Asian accent to say it in Japanese, like computer, and desktop computer. It's like, you know, it's they're English words basically, and it's like, but they're but it's Japanese. Anyways, and so one of the things I was watching on the video is like what made people sometimes socially uncomfortable was like people would go up to like foreign exchange students in Japanese universities or high schools or whatever, and would like start like speak to people who were not Japanese in English, like thinking, you know, like anyone who isn't Japanese there like can speak English, and like how they're just kind of like I don't know what you're saying, like, you know, like I don't know, like, you know, it just like makes them feel awkward, I guess, maybe. And so I'd imagine, you know, it's the same kind of thing. Like I guess that's what makes me hesitant to like approach people at my college or whatever. Like now that you know, because I had taken a break from school and then decided to like I got really interested in Japanese and decided to start learning Japanese, and then, you know, decided, you know, once I graduate I want to go to Japan and all this, but and so I haven't been. I mean, I always, you know, I mean, I always thought Asian girls were pretty cute, and I mean, like I was saying earlier, like in high school there was a South Korean foreign exchange student that Sonyi, who, you know, I was like pretty interested in, you know, like I guess like attempted to court her, like got her a poster and all this stuff, and like, but I mean, like her I guess like her foster family, whatever that's what they call it over here, I don't know, the people who she was living with, like, you know, you've got somebody else's kid, and not just a kid, but like, you know, somebody else's daughter, like female. I mean, it's not Japan, you know. Like in America you have to be like really careful with, like, you know, you can't, if you're female, especially like a young female, like 18, you know, 16, you know, whatever, you know, you have to be really careful about, like, you know, I mean, because, I mean, sadly, in America, you know, rape is a very present, like, problem. I mean, it is something you gotta be careful about, and so, like, you know, they don't know me, like, her foster family doesn't know me and all this stuff, and like, so like, I mean, I understand, and I think, you know, I respect them for doing that, you know, like, not really, so, I mean, I asked her if she wanted to hang out and stuff, and like, I don't know, she knew her foster family probably wouldn't have, like, you know, let her do any of that, and I mean, we talked on the phone quite a bit, but anyways, and so I mean, like, basically I was just saying, like, you know, previous semesters, like, you know, I definitely noticed, like, Asian girls at NC State, but, like, just never, you know, interacted with them, just because, like, I didn't. The thing is, like, that I've just started to learn is, like, you know, and I'm not trying to say this, like, the thing that I've see, like, I looked at videos and, like, alright, I'm just gonna be shameless, I guess, and, like, be like, there's videos, like, on YouTube about, you know, like, how to approach Japanese girls and stuff, and, like, you know, I mean, if you're interested, I guess, there's no real shame, like, it's not like I'm ashamed that, like, I'm expressing an interest in Japanese females, but, like, just that, you know, I guess it's a bit embarrassing that, like, you look at this kind of video, like, I don't know, it's like, I think it has to do with, like, maybe the testosterone in my blood or something, like, you know, having, or maybe just, like, exposing, like, a, I don't know, but anyways, so, like, I was watching this video, it was like, there's this guy on YouTube, and I can't remember his name, it's like Gaijin something, you know, whatever, it's like, and like, he makes videos a lot about, like, you know, stuff you might, you know, just, he came from America, I think he came from America, but, he's just, like, English speaker, yeah, he speaks English like an American, but anyways, so, he makes videos about, you know, like, things that Americans may be interested in, you know, with reference to Japan, and so, but he has a co-host or whatever, like a person that talks on his videos as well, which is female, but is not his wife, because he makes reference to his wife in third person around her. But then he like gets really close to her and stuff. I don't know. I think he's really kind of like, he gets a little creepy in my opinion. Yeah, like he's a bit too familiar. But anyways, the female on that thing, you know, that talks with him, she did this video. You know, she's Japanese, and he lives in Japan. So it's kind of a neat little, like, I guess, you know, it's like there's she speaks really good Japanese, and he speaks very great English, and so they attempt to switch off, kind of like she'll try and read the English sometimes, then he'll try and read the Japanese, and then they'll help each other kind of like to get, like, not miscommunicate and like to more like accurately express what they're trying to say. And I mean, I guess it's neat, like, for someone who's learning Japanese as well, because it helps you, you know, you get to watch it and figure out, like, those things that, like, because I'm not in Japan, so I don't get to see what, you know, like, I guess, modern speech, everyday speech, like, things that you may, where English people make mistakes on often with modern Japanese. Like, it's cool because you get to see that, you know, like, she gets to correct him and he gets to correct her, and that's neat too, because, like, you know, if you go to communicate with someone, you know, like a female or whatever, who's learning English, you also get to see, like, the common mistakes that are made in that sense too. So, like, it helps with, like, really, like, both directions of the communication. But anyways, so I was watching a video that she made, or that she was the main speaker of, and it was about Japanese females, and, like, I know about the whole, like, birth rate problem and all that, and, like, you know, I mean, it's not a problem, but, you know, the tendency for Japanese people to, you know, just be so busy, or at least, you know, that's what they term it. Like, I don't agree with that term. Like, you know, I'm not saying that Japanese people aren't busy. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but, like, if you really want something, you can make some time for it, you know what I mean? Like, like, I don't, because it's like, the guys, I don't know, something about it, man. Like, the guys nowadays, like, would rather have a girlfriend, like, on their Game Boys, like, or the Nintendo DS's, and, like virtual girls. Like, I don't really get it. I don't know. Like, I'm an American, and I mean,
I guess not to be too vulgar, but like I don't really feel like your hand can replace the presence of a female. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't know. Anyways, but I don't see how. I don't know. Anyways, oh well, better for me. So when I get there, there'll be more single girls. But I mean, well, I don't mean like that. Like, I meant like selection-wise, not that like I want it. Anyways, you can't say anything right with female. I'm not even gonna try. I'm just kidding. But no, I don't mean like running around and just like trying to experience as much as possible. I mean like I guess I just mean like sometimes it's just, there might have been a pretty good match or whatever personality-wise for you, but if that person's already in a relationship, it kind of hinders your capability of anyways. And so anyways, I was watching this video about how like Japanese or Asian people are often, there were two different videos actually, I take that back. But anyways, there's one that was basically like, and these are both Japanese people, Japanese females, speaking about Japanese people. And so I'm not like trying to like, I'm not trying to like say I watch like YouTube videos of some Japanese people and like I'm an expert on like what Japanese people are like, or like I know how Japanese girls think, or something. Like, I'm not like trying to say I'm like a ladies man or anything, but I'm just saying like I watched the videos and like it was saying about how like Japanese people are they don't like to impose, and they don't like to publicly be incorrect, and so oftentimes Japanese girls will not, like, you basically have to do all the work, because what'll happen is like Japanese culture is like you don't, and again I don't live in Japan, so I'm just like saying what I've seen someone else say on a video that actually lived in Japan, or lives in Japan right now. Was saying that like they don't want to like, when it comes to like a public thing, like they don't want to make the wrong decision, like look weird or different, or they don't want the to make a mistake or whatever, like publicly, and that includes like like a Japanese girl would be like not really tell you immediately, like if she won't show that she's interested even if she is, like, and not all Japanese girls are the same. I mean, I'm just talking about like majority, like, 'cause I mean I know like I've watched other videos. They're like basically, all about like kind of like watch out for gaijin lover, kind of like basically like what we would call in America like sluts or hoes or whores, like easy girls that just kind of like to be with guys that are foreign. Well, I mean like gaijin is more, like, I guess, kind of like American, like, kind of like an English, it's reserved usually, I guess, for, like, Americans, but, from what I can tell, from what I've heard other people say, like, that actually, live there, or whatever, but, like, so, I mean, I know that, because I was watching this one guy's video, and it was like, he was talking about how, you know, and you have to be like really careful with like Japanese girls. Like it's like you can't be too forward or whatever. It's like you gotta be like really distant, and respectful, like, cause you have to be like, I don't know. I was watching this dude's video and like this chick or this girl he was talking to on so her name was Nanako or Onoko. I can't remember exactly. It was one of those two. But he was talking to her on like Skype or something like that. You know, like met her on Japan Guide, right? And so like he was talking to her for like 5 or 6 months on Skype, and like they would have, you know, they would talk online, like, you know, I don't know. It was kind of like in America what they would call like, see, Americans when before they date and stuff, you have what's called talking to someone, like where basically like American girls don't really have like really close male friends often, like, so I mean basically you have two types of females. You have the girls that, you know, only hang out with guys and they're not like sluts or anything, they're not like having sex with all of them, but you know, they just prefer male company because, you know, for whatever reason, you know, they don't, because they realize that girls can be like, you know, there can be like a lot of unnecessary drama. But anyways, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with girls or anything, but you know, sometimes whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna dig myself into a hole or something. But anyways, and you have, so in America you have girls that hang out with guys all the time, and then you have you know, girls that, and a lot of most of the girls, you know, just hang out with girls, you know, all that, like pretty much everywhere else. But anyways, so, but whenever there's like a certain person that you're interested in, and they kind of like express interest in you as well, they have this period basically. It's like kind of like getting to know someone, because like in America it's not so formal. Like, I don't know, like you just go hang out with people, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that in Japan. Like, I mean, I know about all the like the tea girls and, you know, all that, like, you know, you like have to like schedule, you know, a month in advance to like get the girl you want to talk to or whatever. Like, you know, basically like what they call an escort in America is like, you know, just, it's somebody that you can have a date with who like basically you're paying them to like to make you feel, I don't know, I think it's stupid, but it's just me, I'm sorry. You know, like, how can you enjoy something that you know is fake and is only induced by the money that you're giving? You know, it's like, it's not real. Like, was it? Anyways, but so anyways, in America it's not as crazy. Like, you know, you just go hang out with a girl, might hang out with a guy in a public place, but it's not like a date. You know, it's like, and especially if it's not just her and, okay, so if it's just her and that guy, then yeah, it's pretty much like, you know, if you have a girl that will, if you go to ask her to hang out, like, you just go to like something to do something like with no one else there, like, yeah, it's pretty much like that's a date. You know, it's like I'm interested in you, like, you know, maybe we could, if this goes far enough, we like make some babies kind of thing. It's like, but like, I think in Japan it's a lot different, you know, like, because I was watching that guy's video, it was like, he was talking to this girl on Skype for like, oh yeah, sorry, so they have this thing called talking in America, like, where you basically, like, if you get like a girl, if you call her, you like get her phone number, and you like talk to her on the phone, like, basically, you know, kind of like just talking, like, like not really talking about anything in particular, kind of like just calling to see like, hey, how are you doing? How's your day? You know, like, I'd like to know more about you. You know, what color is your favorite? You know, like all this. You know, what's your favorite color? You know, what are your parents like, and all this stuff. You know, it's basically like figuring out whether you actually want to date the person, like, or take things further. So if you call someone and talk to them on the phone, or what is effectively a phone, like a Skype or whatever, then you basically, if you talk for like, you know, 30 minutes to an hour consistently, like at least maybe once, 2 or 3 times a week or something, you know, that's, you know, basically like, the longer that goes on, the longer you're basically like, that girl's saying, I like the things that I'm learning about you, you know, and this is when you're taking it slow. I mean, I'm not saying like, I mean, you could, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to, like, you know, just kind of go all out and like full swing immediately on the first date. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Trust me. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but like, you know, thing is, like, that's usually, you know, like, when you want to make like a, if you're like interested in like a serious kind of like long-term relationship, like building that kind of like trust and learning more about that person kind of like enriches the stuff. You know, it's not all about like just sex or like, you know, like physical appeal. It's like you're interested in that person, like who they are, like not just what they look like or, you know, whatever. And so like one particular thing is like, you know, like basically, you know, you kind of think that maybe eventually, you know, it's a lot different, I guess. Like, I think, I don't know. Anyways, so it means basically in America, if, you know, if that happens, then like, you know, you pretty much, it communicates that you, and I'm not saying every person interprets it this way, and I'm saying that, and I'm explaining this story because I'm saying that, like, I understand that it is not correct to interpret it that way, because of the difference in situation, you know. Because the thing is, like, if you're gonna communicate with someone across seas, like, it's just an inaccuracy on the interpretation, or of the interpretation of that guy. It's not, I mean, you know, it wasn't obvious to him, which I don't know that it would be obvious to me unless I was told about it, but, that, you know, I mean, you're trying to talk to somebody who lives literally on the other side of the earth. Like, there's no other way that you can possibly communicate, no matter what kind of relationship that person wants to have with you. There's literally no other way to communicate with that person unless you're talking on Skype, which is effectively a phone, which is effectively like the exact same as, like, you know, so like, it's, I can see how it'd be like misleading perhaps, if you weren't aware of, you know, didn't think about it. But anyway, so like, the thing is though, this girl, you know, he's talking to her and stuff, and like, he goes to Japan to like study for a little while, like 6 months or something, and so he calls her, or like messages, like talks to her, whatever, texts, and he's like, hey, you know, I live like here in this district or whatever, and whatever they call it, I think it starts with an S, I can't remember. But anyways, he's like, yeah, I live here. It's like, and she's like, oh yeah, it's only like maybe an hour away or something like that. And so he's like, cool. And then so they decided to meet, and like, so they go to like some restaurant or something. And I mean, they've been talking on Skype for like 5 months, and he's all like really excited and stuff, like, because now he goes to Japan, and he's like, he was interested in this girl, right? And so like, they go to hang out, and then she's like, proceeds to tell him that like, basically she's had a boyfriend for like a long time, and he's like, that's fucking great, dude. So he like, has to do the whole like thing that, when you're a guy, you're like basically like fucking like, you're just like, your expectations like were all shattered, and you're like had expected things to be all like, hunky-dory and like this great thing, you're like, oh, we're gonna make like 10 babies and like own like 3 houses, and like you have something that you wanted to occur, and then you realize like you've been literally like building this thing, this like false reality in your head for like months. And like, so you like build this whole thing up, and then like all of a sudden within like literally seconds it all gets like shattered. And so like all of these emotions or whatever have to like be reversed, but you can't show any of that, you have to be like, oh, that's cool, because if I mean, you don't want to make it weird, like, you don't want it to, I mean, obviously you thought that person was cool enough to like talk to for that long. See, I mean, I guess you don't want to ruin the prospect of like, I guess it's like not wanting to give up hope kind of thing is what it is, like, because she might be dating somebody right now, but like obviously you guys related pretty well, like you had pretty compatible personalities. So like if you freak her out right now while she's got a boyfriend, you pretty much like hang it up. But like if you just like play it cool and like don't really just act like it doesn't matter, then you can like at least have the chance that maybe you like haven't been placed in the friend zone, and like eventually like you can reverse all of it, like like whenever she breaks up the guy, and like you can like make her think that you just thought she was really cool person and weren't all that interested, but like now that she's single, you've like maybe thought about things a bit more, and like you think that you've come to see that person as like being extremely attractive or something, like I don't know, it's a tight, it's a tough act, you gotta whatever, but being a guy, but anyways, so and then so like she gets sick or whatever, and she goes to the hospital for like 10 days or something. It's like got a flu or like stomach virus, and then like he says something about like have you gotten home yet, because she said that she was in the hospital and he was busy with school or something. And then like he screwed up his Japanese though, and instead of saying have you gotten home yet from the hospital, he asked if he could come over to her house, and like she didn't respond, and he couldn't figure it out. So like he was doing a foreign exchange program at a school, so he like asks the his foster parents, or whatever you would call it, what happened, like why won't she talk to me? And then they're like, oh, you asked to come over, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, so basically like, did I pretty much like screw that up? And he's like, they're like, yeah, because she has a boyfriend, and he has to like come over to her house and stuff, and they said, yeah, like basically she's never probably gonna talk to you again. And literally she never talked to him again. So like, I understand how like, I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, so like, Jap girls, you know, it's like one, you know, culturally, from videos I've seen, and you know, just from what I've seen in general, it's very rare that you find a girl that like is gonna just, you know, outright like express a great deal of interest in you, and without knowing, like, it takes a long time. Like, you have to get really comfortable, you know, like you gotta play. It seems like maybe you have to be like friends kind of thing. Like, you just have to feel things out a lot more, like a lot longer. Cause like in America, like, you know, it's very common for girls to express interest in guys, and like, I don't know. I mean, and I'm just saying, like, I know a very small amount about like modern Japanese culture, and it's all based on like the people who decided to upload YouTube videos kind of thing. You know, it's like I'm not saying like I know everything about it. Like, I'm just saying like, and I'm just saying from like my experiences that you know, that seems to be true. Like, cause the thing is like, it's like, man, Japanese girls here is like, you know, basically what happens is they're either hanging out with a guy who's obviously, you know, their boyfriend or whatever, or like they're just hanging out with other Japanese girls, and like, you know, the thing is like, you can't tell, like, they don't, you can't tell, like, it's because, so they don't want to, I don't know, man. It's like you can't really be sure, like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm just being a pussy. I mean, sorry, shouldn't say that, it's vulgar, I suppose, but maybe I'm just being, you know, just like chickening out or something, but like, it just seems like because they don't maybe want to seem like interested, just in case you're not interested, because like, you know, the whole thing with like not wanting to be publicly embarrassed and that sort of thing is like really shy. It's like you can't even really tell if like, if you go up to that person that like they're gonna look at you like, why are you even talking to me, you know, like, what are you, because it's like, the problem with America is like, or with girls here is like, I don't know, like in Japan, everything seems to be a lot more structured around the fact that, you know, relationships are that way, because like, you know, they'll have like the group dating, like the people they group, like they date in like pairs of 3 or whatever, so that no one really has to like, you know, be embarrassed or like, you know, I don't know, man. It's like they need that safety of like not having to be in a situation where they would be uncomfortable. And like, so you got the like pairs of 3 dating and stuff, and so like you can just go out with friends, and like you're not like having to go out with that one person, you know, and like realizing, oh, I don't really like hanging out with this person, you know, and things being all awkward and all that. Like, but here it's like you really don't, you know, I mean, you kind of, I don't know how to, maybe I just don't know how to approach them in a way that they wouldn't feel uncomfortable, but like, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'm just rambling, I guess, but this is. I guess I figured it out. It's just frustrating sometimes, like, you know. It's one. I mean, because like not everybody's the same, so like trying to figure out what works or whatever is like difficult because, you know, I don't know. See, like if I was in Japan, it wouldn't really matter, you know. It's like because, you know, there's just such a large supply of, you know, female people. I mean, I guess what would make sense is though, I mean, I'm not really like trying to find particularly female, like, because I mean, I guess like this is, I mean, I guess it would be stupid to like limit my selection like that, you know, like if I'm gonna go to Japan anyways, like after I graduate college, like, you know, why decide to like, you know, I mean, the amount of people here, Japanese people here, is like not a whole lot, you know, so it's probably a bad idea to like try and find a girl over here. Like, probably just wait until I go to Japan, because you don't want to like limit yourself, like whatever. I don't know. This is, I guess, like difficult for foreign guys. Like, it's just because the culture is so different. Like, I don't know. It's like I guess you don't want to like do something that is off-putting, like makes them feel, you know, like weird or something, but you know, you're like, but you don't want to like not do anything. I mean, you know, it's like for instance, you know, the whole thing is like, you know, the only thing to fear is fear itself, but it's not always so true with like women. It's kind of like sometimes you gotta be like appropriately fearful of approaching them, because it might not be, you know, the best thing to do at that point, like, because you're a man and you don't have any idea what the hell, you know, you can't really understand why they think the things they do, and basically like have no idea what they're really thinking for the most part. It's like completely like read situations wrong and all that stuff. So but oh well, it'll come with time, I suppose. Like, just, you know, keep trying at it, I suppose. You know what's crazy though? I've not beaten this first level, and I've been playing like hours. And I was playing hours yesterday. It's ridiculous. There's gonna be no hope when I start school too. Like, I think classes start in like, I'm gonna quit playing. Classes start in like 9 days or 8 days, because in 9 days classes will have begun. But anyways, So I got like 8 days to beat level 1. Doesn't seem like I'm gonna do it though. I don't know. I'm really tired though. So I'm not really like doing very well. So yeah, whatever. Just eat some food or something. I'm not high. Sure it's Is it, think I'm just have to quit. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for all the rambling earlier. Anyways.